loud. Neighbour's gonna hate me. Oh, it's in reverse. It's moving. Holy crap. This feels so strange. Proudly supported by Superior Engineering, iTech World, and in part by... In the last episode with Mr. Burgundy, we did manage to get the TD42 running. Now, it's not driving yet because we have no clutch, we have no brakes, obviously no radiator, all that sort of stuff. So in today's episode, I'm really hoping that I can get all that fitted up. Once it's running and driving, we can honestly just start piecing this thing back together and we'll have this back on the road in no time. So funny, every time I open the door, Diesel jumps in the front seat. He just sits there like that. Looks so funny. You alright, buddy? Anyway, the first thing I'm actually going to do is bolt these seats in because the seats are just kind of sitting there at the moment. So I need to get some bolts into the right holes. There is like a raised up fitting on these here. So I'm actually going to have to modify this and weld a plate over the top and then tap a new hole into that because that is where that leg seats on there. So I will have to fix both of those. They were both rotted out. Also, if you haven't watched the shed transformation episode, I actually uploaded that today, which will be next week for you guys, but check this place out. So much nicer. We've done all new toolboxes, all new shelving, overhead cabinets, just fully dialed in. And I've just launched the full new range of shirts at roamlife.com. So if you want some merch, go check them out. I haven't had merch on the website in literally 2 years. So it's a big moment for me. Go check them out and get yourself some awesome quality shirts. Right, so both of these are rotted out. All I'm gonna do is get some flat bar and then cut that out and weld it in there nice and neat. Then this is thick enough to drill and tap, and then we can just use a standard high tensile bolt. Get these back in the car, get the front seats back in this vehicle. Alright, they're both done. I'll put some paint on it just to protect them, so get these in the car and get those front seats bolted in. Alright, time for the seat. Alright, front seats are in. These things are not going anywhere now. The mount that we fixed up is working really well. It's kind of tucked in under there. You won't be able to really see it, but worked out mint. I've also gone ahead and put the middle row seats in. Now these seats have been out in the weather and Diesel's been using them as a couch. So he's kind of made himself at home right there. So I'm going to have to track down another middle row set, but we need these in here to figure out exactly where the battery is going to go. Diesel, you'll never guess who the sponsor of today's episode is, mate. It's Surfshark VPN. Do you guys know why that is a really good thing? Because Diesel's been online and he's looking up some pretty questionable stuff. We need to keep all his data very secure. I know, bud, it's really gross. Now, Surfshark will keep your online activity secure, as well as all your personal information, and you can also watch region lock content online wherever you are. And guess what? Right now, they've got an awesome deal. It's only $2.89 a month, and they're also giving out 4 extra free months with that. Did you just fart? They're also giving out 4 free extra months. That's a huge discount for online security, mate, and we're going to need it for you. So if you want to stay safe online this Christmas break, head to surfshark.com/roamlife. It's super quick and easy to set up and makes a huge difference for your online security. Can you tell them not to miss out on this amazing offer and that they should go to surfshark.com and sign up? Okay. Now I'm kind of in two minds with the battery. If I mount it on the floor, we're going to lose floor space. If I mount it up on the side, it brings the weight of the battery up to a higher level, changing the center of gravity. It probably won't change it by much, but it's still, you know, a considerable amount. Originally, I was going to put it right here on the floor. I'd love to get it down in this groove, but turns out it can't fit. I just measured that up. I think the best option is going to be to build off this wheel arch, and then that way it's going to kind of sit flush here with the gullwing door, so we can actually utilize this gullwing door to get to the battery. The main reason that I am a little bit sus on doing that is this is an AGM battery and they are freaking heavy. I mean, that battery alone is probably 20-25 kilos, and then if I build a mount for it out of steel, it's probably going to sneak up to the 30 kilo mark. So having that built up off the ground, it's not the best idea, but to save space, I think it's going to work fine for us. Now, I've got a few things here. I'm going to have to just kind of wing it as I go, but I've got this battery box, got a bit of steel, some bolts, an old battery tray that doesn't quite fit, but I might be able to make it work. So I'm going to get to battery tray mount making and hopefully get it above that wheel arch. Cut that and weld that there, and that's pretty much the tray done. Right, that's the battery tray done. Go get this in the car, see how it fits. I hit it with a bit of black just to make it look a bit better. But yeah, let's go see how she works. Alright, so this is going in something like that. Got a bolt here, bolt over there, 3 in the back or 4 in the back maybe. Should be mint. Right, that's all the bolts done up. 3 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Literally not going anywhere, that thing. Alright, put the battery in. The gull wing still works. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. Oh, that is such a nice spot. It's like perfectly in line with this gull wing. Got to make sure the washers are the right side up. Debate in the comments, do washers have a right side up? I think that they do. Alright, that is the battery done. It is really, really strong. Picked up on a factory seatbelt mount there, a factory bolt over there, and then I had to put 3 6mm bolts in the back of it. The best part about this is look how perfect that sits in that gull wing. Nice and flush with the line there. Can get to that nice and easy. Super easy to jump start if I need to jump it, and yeah, just easy to manage. So now I'm going to be making a battery lead. Now, I tried to get this as thick as possible, but it does get expensive. Ended up with 0 AWG. I will also be fusing it with a 250 amp mega fuse. I don't think this mega fuse is going to be big enough, but I just don't have anything bigger at the moment. So I'm going to be putting this in with a bus bar that I've made out of just aluminium. Put it all together, run it through the floor, run it into the engine bay, and then hopefully turn the key and start this thing. Love that trick. It's the first end done, so I'll go get the fuse mounted up, then I can drill a hole in the floor, run the cable through. That's the battery cable. So I've got to cut that, make that fit. Hopefully got enough left for an earth strap. I don't think we do. Cable's done, plastic conduit, then car builders fleece tape. This stuff is awesome. Then just hook it up and that'll be the positive done. Wonder if I should just run it straight to the starter. It's the same amount of cables. So I've got the main lead hooked up to the starter, and then I've got another thick lead which comes up to here, which then powers our bus bar, which then powers all these relays and whatnot. So I think that's going to work, and it means that that cable was quite a fair bit shorter as well. So underneath I've got this cable running right up into the top there, and then this is our earth point, which was a factory thread into the chassis. Stripped it all back, fitted the earth lead, and then painted it. So that should be fine. There's probably going to be a few auto sparkies in the comments saying that I should have ran an earth lead from the battery all the way to the engine bay. And that is right, definitely better off doing that, but the cable is quite expensive. So I'm trying to cut costs, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just have to make a lead into the engine bay. I'm gonna start tightening all this up, getting it ready to test. Is that a 14? Bloody hell, I need every socket. I'm actually kind of nervous even just to test this. I don't know why. Electricity, every time I do battery stuff, I get nervous. So that's pretty much top of the battery. Got the positive bus bar there up to the fuse, and then our negative coming in. Once I know it's right, I'll sort out both these wires and sort of P-clamp them up out the way. Then they are going into the ground there. So I'm going to try and start it. My prediction is that it pops a fuse pretty much straight away. I have a feeling I'm going to need a 350 400 amp fuse in there, but I want to try it anyway and see what happens. Okay, 250 amp might be enough. I shut it off before I filled the shed with smoke, but that didn't even hesitate at all. That has so much power. 20 amp AGM, I think it's equivalent to about 1000 CCA. Let's do it one more time. Listen to how snappy that friggin' starts. Doesn't even hesitate. Now that that's finally done, that has taken way too long. I'm going to move on to trying to get this thing moving. So clutch line and clutch master cylinder, and then maybe I'll put the brake in as well. Now for the clutch, we've got the clutch master cylinder here, and then I've got this clutch line here that needs to go in as well. Now that clutch line runs along the firewall, which I kind of didn't really want, but I'm going to run it for now. I may change that in the future to something that's like braided that I can hide. But yeah, painted this black the other day, so should kind of just hide in there nicely. I don't think it'll look too bad at all. I've already gone ahead and cleaned this out, and I was going to paint it black, but I can't be bothered. I think it'll look fine, just the way it is. Now for the clutch line. Let me screw straight in there. This thingy-majiggity. God, that looks ugly. This side over here has this ugly curly bleeder thing. Now I'm actually going to get rid of it because it's more of a pain than what it's worth. By just putting a bung in there, it actually makes it a lot easier to bleed the clutch rather than have to push all the fluid through this curly bit. So this thing is going in the bin. I don't know what thread it is, some sort of fine thread. So I'm going to cut this off and then try and weld the top of it shut, because I'm pretty sure that is just steel. So I just got to weld that hole shut at the top. So I don't damage the thread, I'm going to wind this into the old manifold. This is the part that was on the curly tube, so we're throwing that out anyway. Alright, done the top of that, so let's see if it worked. Now this will not be staying in there, promise myself. I will go get the right bung. This is just for testing purposes only. So because I'm alone, I've got to do this the solo way. So I've got a bottle down there with a hose going into it from the slave cylinder. That way it'll push the air out and it can't suck air back in. Oh yeah, I can feel the clutch pedal now. I can feel it pushing on that clutch. Nice and heavy. Right, now that the clutch is done, I'm going to move on to the brakes. Master cylinder first, brake line's right there. Hook it up, bleed the brakes. So I'm just going to let that drip out for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and keep an eye on that master cylinder. It's been about 45 minutes now. I'm doing the exact same methods. Crack one at a time, starting from the furthest away. I'm going to pump the brakes and get this thing bled. Right, now that we've got brakes and we've got clutch and we've got a battery, we can finally try and drive this thing. By drive, I literally just mean move it out of the shed and then move it back in. Obviously, we can't drive up the road with no bonnet and no guards. I mean, we could, but I'm not going to. It's been raining all day today. Rain and wind. Best weather. All right, ready to rumble, aren't you, Dees? You ready to go, mate? He looks just as nervous as me at the moment. Move over, come on. Move over. Over there. Bloody hell, you take up 2 seats, mate. God, it's loud. Neighbour's gonna hate me. It's clutch in, clutch out. No noises. Feels a little bit spongy though, but we've got no vacuum on the clutch as well. Right, I'm gonna pop it in reverse. Oh, it's in reverse. Moving. Moving. Oh, I need to adjust the clutch, man. That's bad. Holy crap. This feels so strange. I've definitely got some adjusting in the clutch to do. It was very touchy and engaged right at the start, but she's outside of the shed on its own power. Holy crap. I cannot wait to take this thing for a drive. It's maiden voyage. Holy moly. It's a bit of a surreal moment driving Ron Burgundy out of the shed. Right, let's see if I can move it back in. It's so touchy. As soon as you let go of that clutch, it's engaged. Oh, it's so much easier than pushing it. Wow, how good is that? Ron Burgundy driving under its own power. Now, the clutch is very weird. It basically is grabbing right at the very start. And I'm definitely going to have to adjust that. So might figure out how to do that now. I've never actually done one. I think you adjust the slave and then I think there's also an adjustment up there somewhere. So I'm going to figure that out now, get that to where I want it. So I tried to bleed it one more time, but I just found the problem. I actually have a little pinhole in this clutch line right there. So there's no, it's not maintaining hydraulic pressure, meaning it's not going to push the rod out very far. So definitely need to get a new line. Filmed it on my phone so you can see it right there. Every time I press the clutch, she's squirting out. So that's that line right there. Now, although it may not seem like it, made some pretty good progress in this episode. So cheers for watching, guys. If you want to grab one of our new shirts, head to roamlife.com. We've got 4 different designs there. You guys can see them in just a sec. But thanks for watching, and thank you to all the people who have already ordered some merch. You guys are absolute legends. I'll see you guys in the next episode where hopefully I've got a thing about this round that goes and we're bolting that onto this motor. And then hopefully we can take it for a drive. That would be sick. Catch you guys later.